Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be going over the NBA slate on DraftKings and Yahoo for Tuesday, March the 5th. We got a 6-game Tuesday slate. I'm going to go through each position, talk about some of the players I like on the 6-game slate, give some of my early thoughts, talk about the guys that stand out to me, and then I will give my 5 plays for DraftKings and 5 plays for Yahoo. These are 5 players that I do like specifically for each site. Before we do get started, though, guys, I would appreciate it if you would drop a like on the video, and if you are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below so that way you don't miss out on any of my new videos. We're going to start off at point guard, though, where we have Russell Westbrook and James Harden, both expensive options over $11K at the top of this position. I do really like paying up here. I like Westbrook quite a bit. I think there's other good options as well besides Westbrook at the top. You have Curry in a matchup with the Celtics, who I don't mind. I think I would rather play Kyrie for just a little bit cheaper. But if Klay Thompson is out, then that would probably shift me back to Curry at 9K. But Curry and Irving in a game that should be competitive. Celtics-Warriors, obviously a really good game. Can't go wrong there. But I do really like Russell Westbrook today. He's 11,300. Gets a matchup with the Timberwolves. This is a matchup where Westbrook has had some pretty good success. 58 DraftKings points on average through 2 games this year against the Timberwolves. Obviously, there's a chance that Paul George sits again today. We don't know right now as I'm recording this video the status of Paul George. I'm recording this on Monday night and we haven't got any update on him. He did miss on Sunday. I would say he's most likely questionable for today. There's a chance he plays, chance he doesn't play. Even if PG plays, I really like Westbrook. If PG is out, Westbrook lately with PG out hasn't really played that well. But I'm not really buying into that. I think Westbrook's still going to be a high usage player with PG off the floor. Still going to be a guy I want to pay up for. So if PG plays, if PG's out, it doesn't really matter. I still like Russell Westbrook today. If PG does play, though, if you want to save the $1,000 and go down to him, I think that does make sense, especially since PG, you can play a small forward, power forward. That's definitely pretty much on a daily basis, always a grosser position than point guard. But either way, like Russell Westbrook quite a bit today. Definitely going to be playing him over James Harden. But then you have Curry and Irving, who I do both like. I think Curry gets a slight boost if Klay Thompson sits. Klay Thompson is questionable. If Thompson is out, definitely like Curry at 9K. Still think you can play Curry either way. But if Thompson plays, I think I would rather play Kyrie Irving for $8,800 for $200 cheaper. It's not a great matchup for Kyrie Irving, but it is a fast-paced game. It's a spot where you feel like Kyrie Irving obviously wants to play well. Primetime game, he put up 60 DraftKings points earlier this year against the Warriors, had 32 points, 6 rebounds, and 10 assists. Pretty big game out of Kyrie. I'd expect another big game out of him here. He's going to have to play well if the Celtics want to have a chance at winning this game. So I do like Kyrie quite a bit as well if you do want to pay up for him. But we've talked about some expensive options. Let's try and go a little bit cheaper, talk about some mid-tier plays, maybe try and find some value at this position. So in the mid-range, a key injury we need to watch today is Mike Conley. Mike Conley sat out on Sunday. I believe it was with rest or soreness or whatever. If he sits again, that is definitely going to open up some value at point guard. DeLon Wright is 4,500 on DraftKings. I think he does become a top value play if Mike Conley is out. Wright becomes really intriguing. He played 36 minutes last game with Conley out against OKC, and he had 42 DraftKings points, had 17, 8, and 6 with a block and 2 steals. DeLon Wright's just a guy that has upside when he gets the minutes. I'd expect the minutes to be there if Conley is out. If Conley plays, DeLon Wright probably only plays 25, 26 minutes. But if Conley is out, we're going to get Wright starting, and he's probably going to play about 34 to 36 minutes. Easily could put up 25, 30 DraftKings points. So definitely becomes a top value at point guard. DeLon Wright, make sure you're keeping an eye on him. Could become one of the best value plays on the slate. Whether Conley is in or out, I don't think it really affects Avery Bradley, and I do like Avery Bradley quite a bit today. He's 4,400 on DraftKings. He's shooting guard over on Yahoo. I like him on both sides. I do like Russell Westbrook on Yahoo. He's going to be a guy I play a lot over here. But want to talk about Bradley now at shooting guard. I like him on Yahoo as well. Shooting guard is just really not the best position. I guess if you could find the $6 to get up to a guy like Andrew Wiggins, you could do that. But I still think Bradley stands out at this position. Dude's just been playing really well lately. Ever since he got traded to the Grizzlies, he's been playing really well. He's just been a much more improved player. He's been playing a ton of minutes. He's been scoring. He's been grabbing rebounds. He's been getting assists as well. If Mike Conley is out, it definitely doesn't hurt Bradley. If anything, it just helps him, allows him to get more assists, more ball handling. He put up 47 DraftKings points last game with Mike Conley out. you know Bradley's going to be needed here defensively. He's a good defender. You expect him to play big minutes to guard Lillard and to guard C.J. McCollum. So Avery Bradley, whether Conley is in or out, I think is a really good play. And if Conley's out, just helps Bradley even more, makes him an even better play at 4,400. And obviously, DeLon Wright, a guy we're going to want to keep our eye on. If Conley is in, really don't have much interest in Wright. If Conley is out, Wright becomes one of the top value plays on the slate. Bradley, you can play either way, whether Conley's in or out. But let's go ahead and move on to shooting guard now. So this position, I do like the cheap guys you can play here, Wright and Bradley. I don't really see myself paying up here unless I go to Curry, who you can play at shooting guard at 9K. Like Levine, Butler, Klay Thompson, don't really see these guys being core plays for me. Andrew Wiggins I like a lot on Yahoo because he's only $22 over here. You have to play a shooting guard, so he stands out if you're not playing Avery Bradley. On DraftKings, it's a bit different with the position flexibility with guys you can play like point guard, shooting guard. I don't think you really have to play Wiggins, but in this matchup against OKC, he has had a ton of success. I think he's averaged like 50 DraftKings points through 2 games against them for what it's worth. Wiggins seems to always play well against OKC. It's kind of weird, but I do like him today. If you're going to that mid-range at shooting guard, you got Wright here, who I like quite a bit. You got Bradley, you can play at shooting guard. I expect Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown probably play big minutes here, going to be needed defensively to guard Klay Thompson, to guard Steph Curry. Wouldn't mind going to them, but Wright would definitely be a better play. If Conley's out, Bradley, in my opinion, is a better play as well. But if you're playing a lot of lineups and you want to mix some guys around, I wouldn't mind throwing in some Smart or Jaylen Brown as cheap value. But looks like it for shooting guard. Let's go ahead and move on to small forward and talk about this position. So I do like the top here. If Paul George plays, I think he is in play today at 10,300. If you want to take the $1,000 savings and go down from Russell Westbrook to Paul George, I think that does make sense. Kevin Durant at 9,100, don't have a ton of interest in. I think I'd rather play Curry for $100 cheaper. I think I would rather play Kyrie Irving, who's $300 cheaper. If Klay Thompson is out, though, that does give a slight boost to Durant, but I think I would still play Curry over Durant if Klay is out. Small forward for me, probably going to be a position I go to like the mid-range. You got Wiggins, who you can play at small forward, who does stand out quite a bit. Looking for value here, there really isn't any value that I love on this slate. Maybe like Mike Scott, because Mike Scott did play over 30 minutes in their last game. He kind of outperformed Jonah Bolden. Played 32 minutes against the Warriors and had 31 DraftKings points. I probably expect him to play close to 30 minutes. He's either going to play 30-plus minutes or he's only going to play like 22, 23 minutes. Just kind of depends on how he's playing. He's cheap, he's 4K. If you get 30-plus minutes out of Mike Scott at this price tag, could definitely be a good value. So wouldn't mind taking a shot on him. Maybe some Bruno at 3,700. I know Bruno's been playing pretty big minutes lately. 28 minutes last game against OKC, 35 against Dallas. He's not the best point per minute guy, but he's going to be playing the minutes because he's continuing to start over Alvin Rab. Jaren Jackson, we know, is going to continue to be out. Bruno's been starting over Rab, so I don't mind going there, but obviously not a core play by any means. Let's go ahead and move on to power forward, though. We definitely got some good plays at this position. This is a position where I really like the mid-range. Talked about the guys at the top. Going to the mid-range, really like Al Horford today. Al Horford's 6,300 on DraftKings, where you can play him at power forward. He's $27 at center on Yahoo. I think he's a good play on both sides, especially on DK, since you can play him at power forward. But this just kind of the same thing goes with Kyrie Irving with Al Horford as it did for Kyrie Irving. It's just a game where you feel like Al Horford is going to have to get up and play well. It seems like these primetime games, he kind of plays more minutes than we normally see him play, like against the Warriors, against the Celtics, against some of these other top teams like the Rockets. I know that game was a blowout, but 31 minutes in that game. Like against the Raptors, that game was a blowout, but kind of hard to tell. But like Milwaukee had 37 minutes, Philly 35 minutes. Like these primetime games, these games that you expect the Celtics to have to compete in. We see Horford play big minutes. He played 34 minutes earlier this year against the Warriors and had 48 DraftKings points. We're going to need some size, or the Celtics are going to need some size on the floor to guard Boogie and to guard Draymond Green. I expect Horford probably plays about 35 minutes and can easily give you 35 plus DraftKings points. 36 or 6,300. I really like him a lot at power forward on DraftKings, and I like him as well on Yahoo. And then Draymond Green's another guy I want to talk about in this game. He's really cheap on DraftKings. He's down to 5,600. He's pretty cheap on Yahoo as well. He's $23 at power forward. This is just a spot where I feel like Draymond Green plays big minutes. We've seen in competitive games this year, Draymond Green's playing close to 36, 37 minutes, sometimes even more. Played 39 minutes against Orlando, but had 35 minutes against the Sixers last game and 36 DraftKings points. 5,600, I know Boogie's on the floor now, so it's a little bit different. But 5,600 is still just too cheap of a price tag for Draymond Green, especially in a game that you expect to be competitive and you expect Green to play his full amount of minutes. The guy just has too much upside to ignore at this price tag. I like him quite a bit on DK today. Competitive game, a game that should be high scoring. I think Draymond Green obviously has triple-double upside, even though he really hasn't shown it since Boogie's come onto the Warriors. Draymond Green's still a guy that has a ton of upside, and definitely a guy I want to roster now that he's down to 5,600 on DraftKings. I like Horford and Green both a lot in this game. But now talking about some cheap value at power forward, I don't really see a ton that I love here. You do have Mike Scott, who you could play as a cheap option at 4K. He would probably be the only guy that I would go to, either him or Bruno. Probably it for power forward. I don't think you really need to go cheap here. The mid-range is pretty loaded. That's where I'm really looking to at this position. But let's go ahead and move on to center now. So at the top of the center position, you got Cat at 10,600 against OKC. I don't really like Cat here. I think there's just other ways I'd rather spend my salary. I'd rather save $300 and play PG. I'd rather find $800 or $700 and get up to Russell Westbrook. Plus, center does have really good plays in the mid-range today, so don't really see myself paying up to Cat. In this mid-range, I think Joe Val at 6,700, now that he's playing 30-plus minutes for the Grizzlies, is definitely in play. I do want to talk about Marc Gasol. I think Marc Gasol is one of the top mid-range plays at center. It might just be one of the top point per dollar plays on the slate. He's only 5,700 on DK, and he's also cheap on Yahoo. He's only $22 over here. Last two games that Marc Gasol has started, he's played over 32 minutes. He played 32 minutes against Portland. He did play 38 minutes against Detroit, but that game did go to overtime. I believe at the end of regulation, Gasol had played like 33 minutes. So I expect he plays about 32, 33 minutes. That's what he's played the last two games. He's been productive as well with 43 and 36 DraftKings points. Gasol is going to be needed here. You're going to need a big guy to guard Clint Capella. If Gasol is going to play 32, 33 minutes, and he's only 5,700, he's really hard to ignore on the slate. I have a ton of interest in Marc Gasol today. I think he's one of the top plays on the slate. Just really stands out. Too cheap now that he's playing 30-plus minutes. They really haven't been giving Ibaka a ton of minutes. Ibaka last few games has only been playing like 18, 20 minutes. Gasol's really been getting the run lately, so I expect that to continue. I expect him to play 30-plus minutes in this game. Really have a lot of interest in Gasol at just 5,700. But value plays at center, don't really love any value here. Gasol's the guy that I'm really trying to go to in that mid-tier price range. Probably won't be going cheap, so I think that's it for center, guys, and I think that is it for the video. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this video, and hopefully it did help you. If you enjoyed, make sure you click that like button down below. Make sure you subscribe if you have not already. And if you do have any questions, feel free to leave any comments down below in the comment section, or hit me up on Twitter at the DFS_GOAT. But yeah, guys, good luck tonight on the 6-game slate. I appreciate you watching the video. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.